Oh, so are we just gonna hold CDs for next game?
I hit my goddamn CDs.
Yeah, at 20%. Tilt. It's something we all deal with. Regardless of where you're at on your WoW PvP journey, you've likely had games that are frustrating, that are out of your control, that you were so close to winning but either yourself or your teammates made a blunder that cost you the game. Maybe it was that one round you needed to win to break even in your solo shuffle match. You try to shake it off, but it happens again and again. A loss streak builds up and suddenly you've lost 200 points from seemingly out of nowhere. You get upset. You start to talk about how certain specs are completely overpowered, how your opponent is playing a brain-dead class, how the game is unfair. Maybe you point your frustration at your teammates. Maybe you call your paladin for not pressing bubble, tell the warrior off for lining you, or flame your healer for not using a cooldown. The list goes on. But what if it didn't have to be that way? Hey folks, Moon here. Today I'm going to be discussing a topic so rarely discussed within the PvP scene that it's basically a secret which can help you get more rating, reduced queue times, and even more people to queue with. But wait, reduced queue times? What do you mean by that? Well, keep watching and all will be revealed. The secret lies within your mindset. The one good thing that will carry you farther than fundamentals, game knowledge, or even class mastery is how good you are at being a teammate. Here's what I mean by that. I've been trying to improve at WoW PvP on and off for around 3 years now, and throughout that time, I've played with a wide range of players and skill level, from 1200 newbies just starting to learn the game, to 1800 standard rival players, to multi-gladiators and even rank 1 players. There's one commonality that's shared between all of them which you can utilize to boost your rank within the game. That being, everyone's looking for consistent people to queue with, but they're also looking for tolerable people to queue with. Let's go into more detail. World of Warcraft is unique from any other competitive game on the market in 2 ways. The first being that the gameplay is simply unlike any other, but the second is that your social network plays a large part in your long-term success. The big title that my team and most other players want to chase within PvP is the almighty Gladiator title, but it's locked behind a bracket that you need a group with 2 other people to even play in. Sure, while solo shuffle is a great alternative for solo players to sharpen their skills, improve their game knowledge, and develop that class mastery, we all know that we're not going to get that cool title or gladiator mount unless we press Q for the 3v3 bracket. That leads to the concern that still plagues many, which is how to find the 2 teammates to queue with. While it does seem absurd that your ability to build a social network plays such a large part in climbing on the ladder, I'm going to offer some tips I've learned that'll help make that process significantly easier on you. I'll keep it real. World of Warcraft's looking for group system is completely out of date and, in my opinion, not the best place to meet people. Sure, I've met some pretty cool people over the years within LFG, but more often than not, it's one of the last places you'll want to search for teammates. Speaking from mine and several of my friends' anecdotal experiences, regarding LFG, there is a negative connotation associated with the players from there, and these players are generally toxic or will ditch the group after 1 loss. If you're spending significantly more time waiting for your group to refill, this will absolutely squash any momentum you have at getting better at the game. So, what's the alternative? I found that the best places for meeting potential arena teammates have been within community Discord servers, guilds, and even some forms of social media. You'll find that these players tend to be more active, involved, and care more about their long-term success within the game as well as their personal improvement. There's a few steps you can take to plug yourself in and maximize your chances of finding teammates. Step 1. Scatter your characters between guilds on high populated servers. I'm not saying to cough up the $25 to transfer all your characters to Tichondrius, Illidan, Stormrage, or wherever the popular servers on the EU region are, but I would advise making several low-level alts and applying for various PvP guilds on the servers. Yeah, you'll find a lot of dud guilds that are dead or only have 1 person online, but you'd be surprised at the amount of active small communities there are within the game. Why I recommend doing this is that, unfortunately, there isn't a centralized space that the overwhelming majority of PvP players flock to go hang out at. But there are a ton of smaller communities that are still thriving out there. While us PvP players make up a minority of the overall game, you would be surprised at how many various guild discords there are out there, which takes me to my next step. Step 2. Look for any larger PvP Discord communities and join. But don't just join. Show some initiative before making a single LFG post and going inactive. Talk in the chat for a little bit. Show you're engaged and involved. You would be surprised, but this little trick helps to show others that you're serious about getting involved in the PvP scene and translates to more people wanting to reach out to play with you. Step 3. Look into joining some online social media groups. As much as I personally dislike the types of people on the platform, Twitter, or X, is a place where many PvP players chat regularly, and I see a lot more of an active side of the community looking for teammates. It's a great way to get directly involved with the discussion and can bridge the gap between several of the smaller communities, as you'll see a range of people who are connected to multiple PvP communities within there. Adding on to this, my personal 2 cents is to stay away from the WoW forums and the r/World of PvP subreddit. While these are additional places with active members in the community, these types of sites breed large amounts of negativity, and as the platforms are about having an opinion a majority of the users agree with, the players who flock to these sites to vent about their grievances within the game or incessantly complain often win out. At that point, it's just a matter of time before you have a full Battle.net friends list of people wanting to play with you. The game has never been better. Having active teammates that play with classes that synergize with you, not having to wait hours in LFG, being able to truly play the game for what it is. Until step 4. Forget about everything else I've told you. You see, you can get to a point where you connect with people quickly, build up a social network, and get people to play a single queue session with you. But if you have a poor mental state, you're never going to get a follow-up session and you're never going to be able to keep a team. And that's the whole secret to this video. Your mental state, your ability to deal with loss streaks and tilt, and the way you treat your teammates matters so much more than any of the other fundamentals that would make a good WoW player. You would be surprised at the sheer number of Gladiator players who would be willing to play with and help guide lower rater players if they only had a great attitude. This is the determining factor for many, which dictates if people will be frothing at the mouth to get a chance to play with you, or if you're going to be sitting in LFG for the rest of your time playing this game. Because you need a strong social network to get consistent queues, combined with the fact that the overall WoW PvP community isn't that big, your reputation amongst players matters significantly more. I don't think people truly understand the magnitude of how this affects them in-game. If you lose your cool at one of your teammates, be it over voice or text chat, that player isn't going to play with you again, and is more likely to go to their friends and bring up the bad experience playing with you. While it probably won't go further than one line of connection, you deny yourself the ability to play with that player again, and deny yourself any chance of playing with their mutuals. Sure, let's say you and a mage player don't work out, but what if he has a really cool rogue friend that you would have been perfect teammates with? You would never know, because while you think you're closing off one connection, you're realistically closing off several without even thinking about it. So guys, let's talk. How do we become better teammates and have a good attitude towards the game? Step 1 is to understand that first and foremost, this is a team game that we're all playing for enjoyment. You're playing for enjoyment, and your teammates are also playing for enjoyment. Even when you go on loss streaks, and even when the game gets frustrating, keep in mind we are all paying $15 a month because we enjoy this game. Step 2 is to, no matter how much your teammates fuck up and ruin the game, never to project your anger and frustration onto your teammates. Honestly, I should have put this as the first step because of how insanely important this one is compared to anything else I could have described. Step 3 is to let yourself feel the frustration and process that emotion. Anything can happen in WoW Arena. Sometimes we're ahead by a lot in a match, and the enemy team gets a lucky setup and scores a kill despite the odds. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be frustrated. And it's okay to feel those emotions. If you need to, give yourself some time between games to let the emotions pass before pressing the Q button again. Else, it'll build up to a point of rage or to a point where it becomes significantly more difficult to control. And believe you me, bad things happen when you cross that threshold. Step 4 is to understand that it's okay to take a break while you're tilted. Let's say you're only able to queue with your team twice a week, but you're on a really nasty loss streak and find yourself getting more and more tilted. It's totally okay to be transparent with your team and say, hey guys, can we take a 5-minute de-stress break? I'm tilted and need to walk it off, get some water, and use the restroom. Almost 100% of the time, other players will be understanding and will respect you more for being transparent with them, as opposed to playing more until you lose your cool and flame them. I think what a lot of people forget about this game is that while there's outliers on both sides, myself being one of them, the majority of this game's player base is between 25 and 34 years old. Most of us are grown adults who've developed a sense of maturity and understanding with each other. But I'll also say we are terrible communicators. So even being better at communicating with your team about your needs and your mental state will put you leagues above the rest in the pool of potential players. The last step I have for you all is not to point your frustration at yourself. If you're watching this video, you've either found me through me documenting my own journey at getting better at the game, or are curious about getting better at World of Warcraft yourself. Understand that this game is hard. This game takes an insane amount of time to develop game knowledge, fundamentals, and class mastery, all while trying to build up a social network. You have to accept the fact that you're going to make several mistakes along your journey. And for many who are just starting out, it's going to be nearly impossible to reach Gladiator if it's your first season playing. That's totally okay. It doesn't mean you won't ever get there or wherever your PvP goals are. It's just going to take more time. Give yourself the grace that you so desperately wish other players would give you, and also give that grace to other players who are trying to learn alongside you. A lot more capable than you think you are. And I need you to understand that this game is bloody hard. Please, don't beat yourself up over it. You'll get there eventually. Oh, and I guess now's a good time to mention my argument with Dam at the beginning of this video. Well, here's the whole clip behind that interaction. Alright, so I need some B-roll for a cold open, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get annoyed with you and then like scream into the mic, okay? I just need you to like argue back, alright? Is that cool?
Okay.
Alright. Oh, so are we just going to hold CDs for next game?
I hit my goddamn CDs.
Yeah, at 20%. And then,
I hit them.
And then we're going to go into the episode. Yeah, we staged it. Our bad. Regardless, fellas, I hope this sheds light on a topic so under-discussed in the PvP community, yet so important. I'm honestly surprised a lot of other content creators haven't touched much on it yet, but I'm more than happy to do so. As always, if you've enjoyed what you spent time watching, let me know about it. Like, comment, tell your friends, engage with the video, send me in-game mail, whisper me, you know the drill. I appreciate you all, and until next time, this is Moon, signing out.